What this guy just signed up for makes absolutely no sense until you look at where his season has actually been the last 3 weeks. Because on paper, he should be protecting himself right now. He should be locking the door, dialing the focus down to one car, one series, one job. That's what every veteran in that garage would tell him to do. That's what the playbook says. Or instead, he just tripled the workload at the one track on the calendar where he's expected to win. In the same month, his championship hopes already took a sledgehammer. And here's the part that's twisting people up. The guy isn't doing it for money. He's not doing it for sponsors. He's doing it because he genuinely believes more chaos is the answer. 2 weeks ago, he was fifth in points and looking like a legitimate dark horse. And today, he's 19th, and the road course stretch of the year is staring him right in the face. And instead of simplifying, he's about to climb into 3 different machines in 3 days. So is this the smartest preparation move anyone's made all season? Or is this the exact decision that blows his whole Watkins Glen weekend apart? Yeah, we got to talk about this one some. Shane Van Gisbergen has confirmed he's running the full triple at Watkins Glen. Trucks on Friday with Niece Motorsports in the number 4. The Xfinity car, now branded the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, on Saturday with JR Motorsports in the 9. And then Cup on Sunday with Trackhouse, 3 series, 3 teams, 3 completely different cars, 1 weekend. And if you're a real NASCAR fan who wants honest conversation about this stuff instead of the recycled headline takes, hit subscribe. We're pushing toward that next milestone, and it actually matters. Now, here's the context everybody's glossing over. SVG has done multi-series weekends before. He's a Bathurst winner. He's a 3-time Supercars champion. The man eats endurance for breakfast, but he has never, in his entire NASCAR career, attempted 3 national series in 3 days at the same venue. This isn't him dipping a toe in. This is him cannonballing into the deep end on the same weekend the Cup field is already terrified of him. And the timing is what makes it weird. Earlier in the year, he was climbing 5th in standings, threatening top 5s, looking like the road course playoff lock everyone assumed he'd be. Then Talladega happened. Wrecked mid-race, then wrecked again on the final lap while running inside the top 10, 20th place finish. He fell from 5th all the way to 19th in the standings in basically one Sunday. So you tell me, when a driver is bleeding momentum like that, do you add more to his plate, or do you take things off? That's the question nobody at Trackhouse is answering out loud. And here's where it gets interesting. Because this isn't just about adding races. This is about what Watkins Glen looks like in 2026. And that part nobody's prepared for. The Glen has been reconfigured. There are new tire bundles, new tire walls. 2 corners are functionally different from what these drivers ran last year. The weather forecast is bouncing between heat and possible rain, and the Cup race itself, it's 100 laps now, not the traditional 90, so the strategy window everybody had memorized is gone. Picture it. Friday afternoon, the trucks roll off pit road. SVG is in a brand new niche Chevy Silverado. He's barely had seat time in, by his own admission. The only reason it fits him is because Cletus McFarland helped break it in. He's going to push that thing for 72 laps to learn exactly where the new tire bundles bite, where they grab, where they punish you if you break 6 inches late. Then Saturday, he's out of the truck and into the JR Motorsports 9. Totally different weight, totally different braking, totally different rhythm. And he's going to do it again. Same corners, same tire walls, but this time he's testing restart lanes, different lines, getting himself put in positions he wouldn't normally see in a Cup race. And then Sunday, he climbs into the Trackhouse Cup car with 2 full days of live race condition data nobody else in the field has. Not Larson, not Bell, not Hamlin, nobody. That is not extra seat time. That is a strategic ambush. And this is the part where it could all fall apart. Every single one of those laps is a lap where he can crash, get caught in someone else's mess, tweak a wrist, burn out his focus. By Sunday afternoon, he could be the most prepared driver in the field or the most fried. That is a razor's edge, and he's walking it on purpose. And here's the thing that's making people in the garage raise their eyebrows. Listen to how SVG himself is framing this. He said, and I'm quoting him directly, "I think it's a no-brainer to do these races. No-brainer." That's the language of a guy who isn't even entertaining the downside. He talked about the variables being bigger than ever this weekend. The weather, the temperature, the rain potential, the new layout in those two corners. And his answer was basically, the more variables, the more I want to be out there. That is not how most Cup drivers think. Most Cup drivers protect Sunday at all costs. Sunday is the paycheck. Sunday is the points. Sunday is the playoff math. SVG looked at Sunday and said, "I'd rather have 2 days of live notes than rest." He even admitted Saturday will be the hardest part. Going from the Xfinity car back to the Cup car back to back is the crossover that always gets him. He knows it's a problem. He's choosing to do it anyway. Now, the social proof side, drivers up and down pit road have been talking openly this season about SVG's upward trajectory, about how he's not just the road course guy anymore, about how he's threatening on mile-and-a-halfs, threatening at Phoenix, threatening at super speedways before the wreck took Talladega from him. So when a driver who's already a perceived threat decides to show up to his best track with 3 cars worth of notes, the rest of the field has every right to be nervous, and by every account they are. But, and this is the loop we have not closed yet, what happens if he wrecks the truck on Friday? What happens if Saturday's Xfinity race gets him in someone's marbles, twists the car, costs him that crossover rhythm he's been chasing? Suddenly, all of those notes become noise. Suddenly, the advantage is the disadvantage. That's not a hypothetical. That's a real outcome. And we're going to know which version of this story we got within 72 hours. Here's what I keep coming back to. This isn't just a Watkins Glen weekend anymore. This is a referendum on how SVG is going to attack the rest of his NASCAR career. Because if this triple duty experiment works, if he wins on Sunday and looks dialed in doing it, every road course on the calendar becomes a multi-series weekend for him going forward. The Roval, Sonoma, the Chicago street race, he'll do this every single time. But if it backfires, if he leaves the Glen with a wrecked truck, a damaged Xfinity car, and a Cup result that doesn't match the hype, Trackhouse is going to have a very quiet, very serious conversation about what their championship caliber driver is allowed to do on the side. And underneath all of it, there's the human piece nobody's saying out loud. This is a guy who left everything he'd built in Australia, 3 Supercars titles, a Bathurst win, a whole life, to chase something on the other side of the world. He's 19th in points right now. He just watched 2 wrecks at Talladega gut a season that was trending toward a playoff lock. You think he's not feeling that? That's why he's running 3 races. He's not being reckless. He's being hungry. There's a difference, and one of those 2 things is going to define his weekend. So the question I want you to actually sit with is this: when a driver this talented is this far behind where he expected to be, is more racing the cure, or is it the thing that turns a bad month into a worse one? Drop a comment and tell me straight up, would you let your driver run all 3 races this weekend, or would you pull the truck and the Xfinity car and protect Sunday? I'm reading every single response on this one because I genuinely think the garage is split down the middle. We'll be back the second the green flag drops Friday. You're not going to want to miss what happens in that truck race, because that first lap is going to tell us almost everything we need to know about how the rest of the weekend goes. I'll see you then.